Yeah, let's spin around like Haru's Triple Spin. Ich mag das Spiel so gerne, ich find's cool. Ich liebe Danganronpas. Alle. Ich werde so viele Danganronpa-Spiele spielen. Ich habe einen ganzen Ordner voll. Freut euch drauf. Ich freue mich drauf.
Last night, me, Satsuki, and Kyoka were hanging out together to distract ourselves from the motive. Then I accidentally fell down and broke the nameplates.
It was real funny to watch. Triple spin!
When I was freaking out over damaging school property, Monokuma showed up and said that he won't punish me since it was an accident, and left me with a new set of nameplates.
He told Haru to put the new nameplates back where they belong. So Haru put them back at the right place, and the rest of us went to bed.
Ja, was das angeht, nicht wirklich. The only people who knew the incident were Haru, Sasuke, and Kyoka. And me. During the investigation, I heard from Tsurugi that one of them had made a grave mistake. I seem to be the only one who noticed who that person was. I need to tell the others about that. Haru, wo bist du? Achso, warte, da. Mal gut, geht er hin, danke. Warte. Bam! Ja, das war unser lieber Haru. Er hat's leider vergessen. Doof, 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 doof. Ability, yeah, Agility, Miss und Focus. 95 Punkte, let's go. No, Sasuke, there's something wrong with what you just said.
Yo, what's wrong?
Ich ändere immer Sasuke's Stimme. Ich weiß nicht, was sie geben soll. Although Haru did put the nameplates back, he didn't know that he made a mistake while doing so. Yuki, that's... He forgot where the two nameplates originally were, so he put the new ones in the wrong place.
What? He forgot out something that was right in front of him seconds ago?
Oh, he went to the restroom before putting them back, so I think he got confused somewhere in the middle. Okay. I get how much of an idiot Haruhiko is. How does that relate to Kyoka's matter? That will be because the two nameplates Haruhiko had to replace belonged to Tsurugi Kinju and Kyoka Maki. Right, Yuki? Yeah, right. Kyoka's room was next to mine, and Tsurugi's was next to hers. But because Haru thought the other way around, the nameplates on their doors were switched.
Mr. Kubashikawa, was it your intent to do so?
Anyway, Haru, shouldn't you already know? We talked about the nameplates being switched when we were investigating.
Well, I did, but I just want to avoid unnecessary suspicion.
Avoid suspicion? Don't tell me you're the culprit, Haruhiko.
No, I'm not, I swear. This is exactly why I didn't say it.
Why would we think you're suspicious? It's just a couple of nameplates. I don't think that they're that much related to Kyoka's death anyway. Yes, they are related. Much related, in fact.
Now would you care to explain what that means to us?
I said earlier that two people were connected to the murder. One of them is Haruhiko for switching nameplates, and the other person is me. Me, ja. Weil er eigentlich die Nachricht hätte kriegen sollen. Huh?
Mr. Kinjo, you have an indirect connection with the murder of Miss Maki? May I ask you to elaborate on that?
It's true. Let's see where I should start. How about we all get a grasp of the culprit's intention first? Things went as the culprit originally planned. The person to have a portrait here would have been me. That statement sounds somewhat far-fetched. How come you were to die instead of Kyoka? Do you remember the torn note that Yuki read to us a while ago? Was able to comprehend what the culprit was aiming for after seeing the note. Kyoka got that note from the culprit and headed to the laundry room at the designated time. There she was assaulted and murdered by the culprit. Everyone's clear on this, right? Now let me ask, how do you think Kyoka got that note? How she got the note? Well, maybe one of us casually handed over to her. Das glaube ich nicht. Wahrscheinlich wurde das unter ihre Tür durchgeschoben. Kyoka wouldn't have known that the person who gave the note would come after her back then. From whom? Where? How? Did any of you ever see Kyoka getting a note from someone?
No, besides, there wasn't any time for that. After we got out of the audiovisual rooms, Kyoka stayed with me and Saskia until she went into her room for the night.
Wait! Then Kyoka got the note between 10 p.m. last night and the time of death, which is 6 a.m. this morning?
Right. Kyoka went inside her room as soon as it became nighttime. She couldn't have gotten the note while talking face to face with someone. And that leaves us with only one possibility. She got the note while she was inside her room.
But you can't go into someone else's room unless you got the key or the owner's permission.
Yes, but there's a way to give her the note without opening the door.
What?
But that'd be like magic, really. How? Answered. A way to slip a note inside the room without opening the door or being seen by the owner. It should be pretty simple. Something that any clever kid could think of. Let's think about it. If I stay calm and keep brainstorming, it will come to my mind. The Hangman's Gambit is about to start. Would you like?
Yes, bitte.
In the Hangman's Gambit, you must put together a piece of evidence that flashes by your mind. The bottom of the screen will show parts of your target word or phrase with spaces in between. Find which letters will go into the blank space and shoot them to place them in their position. The letters will move around randomly across the screen. There are multiple blank spaces. You must fill in the leftmost space first. Your focus gauge will take damage if you fill the wrong letter. If your focus gauge is fully okay. Once you choose the correct letter for every blank space, the word will complete. Okay, gut. Also gesagt wie Geigenmännchen. Ja. Mal schauen. THD? Warte. Gap. Wie? Wie nehme ich dich? Warte, wie hol ich die Wörter? Ach. Gap. Ja, der kleine Freiraum zwischen Tür und Boden. Oh, 19 Punkte. Nice. Nice. That's it, the gap. Even when the door is fully closed, there's a gap between the bottom of the door and the threshold that's large enough to slip a note through.
So, after nighttime, the culprit left a note inside Miss Marky's room through the gap?
Right. There would be no one out in the hallway after nighttime, and Kyoka would still be awake. Adding a message like "Don't exit your room" to keep Monokuma from noticing would have easily dealt with the chance of Kyoka seeing the note coming in and opening the door. That way, the sender won't have to reveal himself while still getting the message across. This inequality of information between the culprit and Kyoka made her more vulnerable to deception.
You know, it was pretty bold of him to do that. What if Kyoka didn't show up or brought other people with her?
The note probably requested her to come alone to prevent such occurrences. Likely coupled with the reasons she won't be able to ignore. From the fact I mentioned the absence of cameras, it must have been something Monokuma should know about. A way out, for instance. Would any of you refuse to go if someone offers to tell you a way to escape?
Well, I'd...
Go, yes.
True. I would have gone as well.
Okay, the culprit sneaked the note into her room. I get that, but how exactly is it you and Haru's fault?
Think closely. Most people here didn't know about Haruhiko switching the nameplates until it was said in trial or noticed it after the murder occurred. Which means, at the time of the murder, the culprit was unaware of the fact either.
Oh!
I see. For that reason, you considered yourself and Haruhiko to be at your fault. Es wird kompliziert. Also der Mörder wusste nicht, dass sie getauscht haben. Das heißt, ich bin raus und Haruhiko ist raus. Und dann bleiben noch Kinji, Polizist, was keinen Sinn machen würde. Anwalt, was auch nicht funktioniert. Also gibt es noch Kinji, der Verkäufer und der Fußballspieler, oder? Ja. Vier Männer sind raus. Es wird weniger. Und von den dreien, bin ich ehrlich, ich schätze den Fußballspieler irgendwie. Weil es war ein Ball. Also, ich weiß, ist komisch, verquetscht, aber ist ein Ball. Und der ist ziemlich aktiv gerade versuchend, das Trial in eine andere Richtung zu locken. Also, weiß nicht. Ich habe ihn Verdacht aktuell. Der Verkäufer war es, glaube ich, nicht. Und Kinji auch nicht. Nee. Ein Priester würde ich killen. Das würde ich nicht sehen. Er ist so ein Opfertyp wahrscheinlich eher. Also, das klingt gemein. Er ist ein Victim für mich eher dann. Aber
Vielleicht finden wir es raus im nächsten Part, denn das Trial kommt bestimmt bald zum Ende. Ich bin gespannt. Hallo Leute, willkommen zurück. Wir sind immer noch bei Case 1 im Class Trial, aber langsam kommen wir zum Schluss. Denn wir haben einen Großteil der Verdächtigen aussortiert. Die Frauen sind alle raus, denn es war offensichtlich, dass ein Mann es war, nachdem die ganzen Sachen gemacht wurden, um Kyoka aufzuhängen. Das war zu anstrengend für eine Frau, weil sie hätte einfach reingehen können ins ins Women's Restroom. Außerdem sind raus ich, Haruhiko, Polizist und Anwalt, denn alle haben entweder ein Alibi oder wussten von dem Fehler mit den Nameplates. Dann hätten sie nämlich gar nicht Kyoka rausgeholt, sondern hätten wie geplant den Polizist getargetet. Das heißt, Kinji ist noch da, der Verkäufer und der Fußballspieler. Einer von den dreien wird sein. Hoffe ich. Und jetzt finden wir raus, wer.
Huh?
For those of you who haven't gotten it yet, we're saying that the culprit killed Kyoka because of confusion.
Confusion?
What? So that's back to what Tsurugi said earlier.
Right, I think I know it now. The indirect influence Haru had over Kyoka's death. Haru switched the nameplates by mistake, and the culprit slipped the note inside the room without knowing they were switched. Then the culprit intended target was... Tsurugi Kinju. Der Polizist. That's right. The culprit never intended to murder Kyoka. The real person he wanted to kill was Tsurugi.
That makes sense. The killer saw Tsurugi's nameplate on the door and left a note there, but the room was actually Kyoka's.
Does it mean Tsurugi would have died if Haruhiko didn't switch the nameplates?
Yes, that's why I said Haruhiko and I indirectly caused Kyoka's death.
Kyoka! It's all because of I was an idiot. It's all because I was dumb enough to mix up those stupid nameplates.
Calm down, Haruhiko. It's not your fault. Even if you put the nameplates correctly, Tsurugi would have been in danger. I'm a policeman. It's my duty to ensure everyone's safety. Yet I was careless enough to let Kyoka die. I should have died rather than failing in my duty like this.
Please don't say that. Every person's life must be treated with extreme regard.
That is why I cannot forgive the culprit. Not that murderers have ever deserved forgiveness, but him killing one of our close friends was absolutely unforgivable.
Yeah, I feel the same too. But how am I supposed to take that one of us is that cruel, cold-blooded killer?
So,
What do you mean, so?
can't you think? Now it's the time to say it. You know, the identity of the culprit. The culprit? Didn't you solve everything you need to? The fact that the culprit is a man, the way he hanged the body without entering the restroom, how and why he called Kyoka Maki and killed her. Isn't the culprit fairly obvious at this point? Well, while we did figure out most of the major details, I don't believe we ever brought up that matter before. Jeez, you guys still don't know? How long are you going to make me wait here? I think my legs are starting to hurt.
How about you say yourself, you're not so mad?
Huh, why should I? There's people like Tsurugi Kinju out there anyway.
Tsurugi? Do you know who the culprit is? Yes, I do. Actually, I already knew who it was well before the trial started. Warum wissen's alle und keiner sagt es? Leute!
Wow, that's our ultimate police!
But what I thought back then was more like an educated guess. Not that I meant through these discussions on the trial. I'm confident with what I got.
Man, that's epic.
How do you know? I still don't have a clue. I'll try to make it easy for everyone to understand. So, let's go back to when we were talking about the hook and the rubber ball. You all know how the culprit used them, right?
Of course! The culprit tied a rope to the rubber ball and set it around the pipe a few times. Then threw the hook on to secure the rope. All was to make it seem like it was done from the inside.
Ja, das muss man sein, der gut werfen oder schießen kann, der zielsicher ist und genug Kraft aufbauen kann. Fußballer. The rubber ball was the decisive factor in my deduction of the culprit. Do you remember Yuki explaining earlier that the rubber ball burst because it couldn't overcome the pressure? Weil geschossen wurde. Er ist zu stark in die Wand geknallt. It was probably due to the accumulated damage from the repeated collisions with the ball. And here's the question. How much pressure do you think is needed to pop a rubber ball?
Well, it would depend on which kind you're talking about, but probably a lot.
Yep, I tell you something that pops too easily will be worthless as a bouncy ball.
Right. Normal levels of pressure can't leave a single scratch on it, much less make it burst. But the rubber ball still burst, just by bouncing a few times off the wall.
That's kinda strange.
Was the rubber ball old?
When I saw the rubber ball, it was still glossy and shining all over despite its condition. I dare say it was brand new.
I'm not done yet, though I didn't place emphasis on this earlier. Think about it. Would it be easy to make a ball go over the pipe through the little space between it and the ceiling, bounce off the wall, and roll back towards the entrance? Nur wenn du was über Bälle verstehst. Wie ein Fußballspieler. Especially when the culprit couldn't afford to fail even once, because he was a man.
I believe it would be a challenge. I don't possess the skills to do it in the first place, but even if I did, I won't be able to do it because of the pressure.
Fully agreed. But the culprit chose to take the challenge and succeed nonetheless. That wasn't just a matter of guts, he had the confidence and ability to assure his success. In short, the culprit has the ability to throw a ball exactly where he wants to. It's more than the accuracy. Not only did the culprit have precise control over where to land the ball, but also the strength to burst it open.
But I don't think any one of the guys look like they have that much strength and accuracy. Judging by his muscles, maybe Kakera does.
Ha ha ha! With my daily muscle training, it would be certainly possible for me to burst a rubber ball with my strength. However, just to be clear, I cannot be the culprit! I can't even score a goal right below the basket. Haha!
Außerdem war ja auf dem Flur.
Then how did the killer pull off those tricks? Was he secretly the ultimate baseball player?
No. I think you guys are missing something.